Barbara has introduced me, but also when I met Barbara, I told her I was disappointed because I wanted to find a very old woman. But I met a very young person who I think in one way or the other, I might even be older than her. Our generation is quite unique. It's a generation of battling. But eventually you enter an office and be shocked at who you find in those offices. So for our generation, those who fall in my years, also again, I congratulate you. Thank you for being this hardworking. BFA started from a very, very simple rented, I think it was 2-roomed, no factory setting. For those of you who come from MBALE, you know very well Nauyo. Nauyo is a MBALE suburb. That's where we started from. But the vision is dated way back when I was at university. I come from a very humble background, by the way. For me, my childhood knows nothing but working in other people's farms. That is where we got money. That is where I also got money for school. But while we were working in other people's farms, we sold what we were producing cheaply on the small farms that we owned. And in the end, you would end up buying the same posho, for which maize you sold cheaply, more expensively. For me, when I kept going to school, this question kept lingering in my mind. University, there was, I've seen journalists here. They actually think I'm a journalist. I'm a journalist by practice, but I'm not a journalist by profession. So I worked on one of the TV stations. I've seen my colleagues are here. But while I was there, I knew what I wanted. The idea was not to work on TV. The idea really was to use that platform for me to pass my message. Now, I applied I wrote a concept for a Farm Matters program, because I knew that's where my passion is. It was approved, we started the Farm Matters show, and I tell you, it's amazing how that program shaped me into understanding what a life of a rural peasant farmer really is. Yes. And I was able to also interact with the farmers and know where the padlocks were. And mine, the contribution I kept telling myself was to figure out how to at least come up with, they're called what? These extra keys you make on the padlock when the original ones are lost. Master keys. To open those padlocks. And that's what I did. I cannot say I'm where we want to be as BFA, but we are on the way to where we want to be as a company. After working with TV, I'll make it brief, I went to Kampala. But during that time, I also understood who I want. I don't know if it's understood. Okay, if I'm going to interact with Yasin, I want to know what does Yasin add on me. So when I was working on TV, I made sure I spot these people who are critical in the sector where I wanted to be in and figure out how they could support me. So I directly worked with the production department, nutrition, and some of the findings we got from farmers were farmers didn't have the authority to decide how much they sell. Theirs is to produce. You see, when we are in manufacturing, she knows. You sit down and now I've put in this, so I cannot sell beyond this. Farmers don't have that luxury. Farmers, we who are buying, decide how much we pay. We don't care about how much money we put in. So, what we discovered also was farmers were putting in a lot and earning less. So together with district officials and other technical agriculturists, we came up with how best can we identify with a crop that required low input but would give a farmer more. Yeah. For us, we identified pumpkin to be a unique venture, a unique crop. When we went back to the farmers and asked how much they know about pumpkin, exactly. The crop that is grown on the rubbish pit area, yeah, we said we want that one. We went in for the crop, did more research for 2 years of not doing business, but of figuring out of this business, if I do it, how is it going to move? How, what, when, how, what? There are things we also ignore, and I've experienced this while I was figuring out what to do, but also now as an employer. Let me tell you, for us, we don't want to work for free. But for me, I think what makes me today is also working for free. On TV, I think Yasin, we worked for free. Now, for 2 years, I left TV, I went to Kampala for about 6 months. But I said for 6 months, I want to identify with companies that were almost doing what I want to do. Because you could ask, Narina Nehida, where do I start? So I went and worked with a very big food processing company that we all know I won't mention. And then I also worked with a very, very small processing company. Those I worked for free. In the big company, I was volunteering. In the small company, I went as a technocrat with a coat on. I was like, I can help. I worked for a total of 6 months. I tell you, when I came back from Kampala, I knew I was starting. 500,000. That money, I went to industrial area, I bought whatever I wanted. We produced a prototype. After producing a prototype, I knew it works. Then, you also need social capital. Social capital is where you interact with people. You can even ask for water, and you will get that water. But social capital also depends on how you relate with people. So in that, I was able to bring on board about 7 farmer groups who I convinced to plant the pumpkins with no capital to buy from them. But they planted the pumpkins, supplied us, were able to do basic drying. And then before you know it, I hired machines. By the way, not anywhere. Mom got a machine, we milled. Our first bag was 100 kilograms of flour. You know what I did? I got my phone. I said, now I think it's time for me to benefit from my friends. I called each contact in my phone. Hello, how are you? This is Nam. Introduce yourself even if somebody knows you. This is so and so. I have this product. I came to town with my flour. By the way, I sold that flour, I think for about 4 years, directly, which you people call hawking. I did that. And what pushed me out of the direct selling was because people knew me a lot, that each time they saw me, when they saw the company had grown a bit, they would be like, so you would end up leaving a lot of money in the field. Then I pulled out of direct selling, but I also do selling at another level. So I sold 500,000 shillings. All the products we produced, we sold them. And for me, that was a game changer. Today, that was 100 kilograms of flour. Since URA is not around, I can happily say these figures. Today we are producing up to 380,000 kilograms of our produce. We are not only in pumpkin value chain, we are in pumpkin, we are in soybean, we are in millet, and other selected grains and cereals. We are working directly with a total of 3,500 farmers. Richard bears me witness. Richard, you remember how we went to those communities to recruit and sensitize these farmers? I'm telling you, I know my farmer, from where they come from, how many they are in their home, and what they're actually growing. That's how much we are partnered with our suppliers. These are 70% women, because I also understand how the sector has been so rude to me. And I know what women we go through. That's why we give them more places for them to supply. These farmers, we give them production contracts. They grow the soybean, they grow the pumpkin, we buy from them. Our price is different, they know it. We don't give you the price that ordinary market is giving. We tell you, let the soybean mature to capacity. Because some of the challenges where farmers harvest these things when they are still not ready. Take time, let them mature, harvest, supply, we are giving a premium. And for us, we don't pay farmers ordinary prices. Our farmers, when they supply, it is urban prices that we pay them. And we see that in our small capacities, we are creating impact in these communities. Today, we are directly working with retail shops and supermarkets. We are also directly supplying schools who are buying from us. And we are now figuring out how to supply across the country. I talked about 380,000, but I assure you entrepreneurs, this is a sales of, I think, Elgon region, fully, part of Bukedi, part of Busoga, part of Teso. We are not even supplying in the whole of Eastern what? That is how the market, but there is no market. The market is there, but how have you positioned yourself to enter, to penetrate those markets? How are you going to convince these people that you have the right product for them? And then when I think in 2023, we got a contract from Jumia. We were unable to supply. We supplied the first time, they sold off. Second time, they sold off. Third time when Jumia saw the products were moving, they gave us an order that broke our walls. We ran away. But we didn't just run away. We ran away to reorganize. Because what we noticed, people in Kampala just got that box, went and produced the same product. But the content inside could not match ours. Because our flour, our project flour is well researched. Good. I assure you, you will not find that content in another part. And we have such customer feedback that call and say, where's my holiday last week? That shows you how much customers understand our product. But let me tell you this. What has even made Barbara to invite me here to talk to you today? When I started BFA, first of all, the name. We want to say, God is what? There are those English names that we are using for our businesses, but they don't work. Even when you're exporting, the first thing that is going to attract people in the diaspora, it is the name of the business. They are going to easily associate. Robina over Grace, because graces are many. You get the name of the business. That when you step up to say, I am from this company, everyone, what is that again? You know you're doing something on the ground. We get it. Let's run away from these English names. They will not take us anywhere. But most importantly, though, you had URSB, you had URA, you had all these institutions. I tell you, we registered for a TIN number even when we didn't know or figure out how to file the returns. Fatuma will tell you, we've not paid NSSF, but those are the things we did in early stage when we don't even know what to do. Maybe we thought if you tell NSF I have very many employees, I think that's a good thing. Okay, let's report we have very many employees. You get? So those are the mistakes that we did when we were just starting. But I assure you today, we are very organized. Wow. Today, the reason why I'm here also is because we are a formal business. Yeah. For me, you're going to ask me how much money I made yesterday, and I'll tell you. Because I know. Because we formalized every operations. You will tell me, okay, you're saying you have 3,500 farmers. You will decide. And I'll bring for you the same person you're seeing, the same person I'll bring. Yes. That is how formal your businesses should actually be. You must have a trading license, you must register. They are lying. There's nowhere you're going to go. Even to URSB, they'll ask for your TIN number. Yes. So there's nothing you're going to do as a business without TIN. You're paying for UNBS. Government is now, like, there's a lot of things that have happened. There's nothing you can do unless you're doing it through the system. You get? So, and that's, we do internal audits, we do external audits. But in the first 3 years, I don't think I would have thought this was important. Because when my friends told me, I think you need to have like a receipt, I'm like, no, but this is my business. I know what I sold yesterday, but if you ask me after some time, I will not remember all those things. But right now I can tell you how much we sold in 2024 because we have the records, we have systems in place, and we are doing the right thing. That is very important. When I first wrote to UDB for funding, I had when the president was actually saying he's not ready. We also applied and pulled out because we thought we were not ready. Yeah? When you're ready, UDB will even come to you. You will not go to them. They will actually come to you. You will not go to them. And not only UDB, all these other partners will actually look for you because they see you're ready. And most of us are doing a lot of things out there, but we are not formalizing things. That's why you see, you will ask yourself, but I even started Fatuma Namutosi, then you can organize the we've worked with USAID, we've recently worked with SNV, we've worked with Avis Foundation Uganda, we've worked with very many, government of Uganda itself, and then we've also worked with FAO, very many organizations. The list is long, but that's just today we are now directly working with RPM in one of the refugee settlements. Yeah, but just because every question they put to us, we are in position to answer. I don't want to talk about how many people we are employing. Fatuma might get it wrongly. However, we have the casual sector. We've rated different activities out of our product. Like these young mothers who have given birth and are single mothers. We have an activity of ready porridge. Those in MBALE town, you've interacted with that product. And thank you for supporting us, really. Yeah? Because the least person of those girls you see around town with aprons selling porridge are earning very good commissions for themselves. And I say again, we've created some social impact also to such people. For me, mine is the environment is not, let me tell you, today you can smile with Barbara. Tomorrow you're going to come, you'll wonder if she's the Barbara you talk to. Things are a bit different. What's the movie reality? Things are a bit what? Different. For me, my humble appeal is let's organize our businesses, let's be formal. I also wanted to talk about this because also we lack it as businesses, and I think, Barbara, I'll end with this. I have a very doctor told me I have a very functional board. Yeah. A board is a team of people who will sit you down and screw you, if that's the correct word for me to use. Yeah. And they tell you that money was not expensed well, and all they tell you, your money, that one, we are not spending it. That is what we call a board. Have you reached that level? Namutosi has reached that level. For me, the board will refuse to spend, to sign, that we should to approve in a resolution because they feel it's not fit. Now, when your business has reaches that level, you also know still. How did I come to get a board? Balebe, from your own friends. Yeah. I interacted with Richard, but Richard Daniela did a homo she. I interacted, I selected, I have a lawyer, I have in nature, I have, then I also in finance, which is very critical. In finance I have, so you spot these guys here and make sure you strengthen your friendship with them without telling them that you want them to be board members. For me, these are guys I had a relationship with for 6 years before I officially brought them on board as a registered board. And that has also helped me a lot. Know the systems, know the product, know the customer, protect the money. Protect the money. And do what we call reinvestment. Fenga warambire, kwafunile seeding, we reinvest that money. We say we are going to buy a milling machine, and we know we are working this whole year to acquire a milling what? So every money we make to Stereka in a different account, because if you put in one account, you end up because we are sitting it's singalinga no likumagoboli kulya akandiongeyeho kubofu washini kuba nice business yo. So kwa hola reinvestment era shomba bolera for office kusha ibintu ngabitside bingira nga kasolingira arura buli buji bwesi mukula mu supermarket without any law yet. But now we are ready for external finance.